land reform, the House chaplain calling on leaders to put Bahamians first, while he says no foreigner should have more privileges, declaring the country's future must be shaped by its own people.
Immigration, the economy, and politics. Coming up tonight on our news, former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis breaks his silence on these pressing issues. We'll have more for you tonight.
Coming up tonight, police make a gruesome discovery of a 23-year-old man. The chilling details just ahead.
Then in our news at 7:30, a murder suspect in a high-profile murder plot case quits his fight for bail, choosing to stay locked up. Our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. House of Assembly Chaplain Bishop Valentino Williams giving a stern rebuke to politicians this morning, urging them to put Bahamians first. He highlighted issues like immigration, crime, and healthcare, saying politics needs to be placed aside. Berthany McDermott was in Parliament, and he gets us started tonight.
Put Bahamians first. That's the stern yet impassioned plea from House of Assembly chaplain Bishop Valentino Williams, who urged the government to ensure Bahamians get first priority on several issues, namely immigration, land ownership, and healthcare. At the start of this morning's parliamentary session, Williams said while much has been accomplished in the past 52 years, he believes there's a lot more to do. Addressing the vexing issue of immigration, Williams said no effort or expense should be spared to secure the Bahamas for Bahamians and not for foreigners.
No foreigner, no matter how wealthy they are or what they bring to the table, under no circumstances should have more privileges in the Bahamas over a Bahamian.
He also addressed the high cost of land ownership for ordinary Bahamians. Coincidentally, his message came moments before the government began debating two pieces of land reform legislation. Williams said the wealth should be made more common for the average Bahamian, adding land is too expensive for Bahamians to buy. He admitted that the unfortunate reality is that successive governments have prioritized their supporters.
This practice is very disheartening and depressing. Every Bahamian deserves to eat despite their political preference.
Williams, who was also the senior pastor of Life Changers Ministries International, also touched on healthcare. While applauding government's efforts, he said too many Bahamians suffer because of shortfalls in the healthcare system.
Sadly, in some cases, if you don't have private health care, which is too costly for the average Bahamian, you will more than likely end up dying if you have a chronic illness. The system needs an overhaul. The system needs a reset.
And lastly, he calls for more to be done to reduce crime in the Bahamas.
We must get crime under control. One murder is too much. We must put the fear of God in these criminals who seek to wreak havoc upon our streets.
Now, the House chaplain also touched on education and urged Bahamians to come together. As for our politicians, he is calling on them to be more concerned about securing the next generation than the next general election. Reporting for our news, I'm Berthany McDermott.
All right, thanks, Berthany. And right after that call to put Bahamians first, the Prime Minister took center stage unveiling major land reform bills he says will fix a broken system and give more Bahamians a chance to own land. We've got more from today's proceedings in the House coming up in our news at 7:30. Former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis has never been one to hold back when it comes to illegal immigration. He's called it a crisis for years. And while he's taken swipes at the Davis administration before, today he's pointing the fingers at residents too. Joshua Williams caught up with him outside of the House this morning.
We don't need to come to this parliament every darn week passing law after law which don't mean F.
That's a frustrated former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis weighing in on the nation's immigration crisis. Over the weekend, there was renewed national debate on the immigration crisis after the Free National Movement and Coalition of Independents held press conferences and town hall meetings on the issue. It sparked a prompt response from the National Security Minister, who released a national statement defending the Davis administration's stance on immigration. The former Prime Minister says while governments have a job to do, he's calling on Bahamians to look in the mirror.
First thing somebody said to me, they gave me a story that they had a colleague who went and applied for a work permit, and they put a few dollars in the application. They know exactly where to go, who to see, etc. Those are the problems. And until we deal with the problems, nothing will happen. We have to face the facts. We are the problem.
Minnis admits both the PLP and F&M have fallen short over the years, adding that when his government tried to deal with the shantytown issue, the courts blocked them. And while he acknowledges the work the Davis administration has done, he's calling for the government to crack down more.
I watched Bahamians, and they were on the same flight, etc. And when they entered the US of A, they were law-abiding citizens. They understand the law. What's the difference here? The difference here is we refuse to enforce it because what will happen when you enforce laws? There may be some collateral damage. But what do you want? Collateral damage versus the destruction of your country.
Now, the Davis administration has often given itself a pat on the back for how it's handled immigration. But Dr. Minnis says the Bahamian people are tired of the games.
We come in this parliament, we pass laws. The PLP pass 80, the F&M decide they have to do 85, outdo them. The PLP come back and pass 90, the F&M come back 95. It's bragging rights, but are the laws effective? No. you don't have the resources, you don't put the manpower in place, you don't put the finances in place to deal with it, you don't enforce it.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks for that, Josh. Meanwhile, Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard setting the record straight as there's reportedly talk that former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham is secretly calling the shots. The claims come after the F&M recently unveiled 17 candidates for the next general election, sparking rumors that most were handpicked by the former party leader. But outside Parliament this morning, Pintard flatly denied that, insisting it's not how his party operates.
When you ask me, I again present the facts on what we do as a party. But any questions you have for Mr. Ingraham, I think you should ask him. We released 17 candidates. 50% of them, at least, were new faces. We also had a significant percentage of young people who we have signaled we will ratify. We welcome input from all the veterans of the party, including former prime ministers who have a role to play. If you're sensible and when you're leading now, you'll take advice from persons who have led before.
All right, it's every mother's worst fear, and for one family, it became a devastating reality Tuesday morning. A 23-year-old man found shot to death and left in bushes off Springfield Road. While his family is in mourning and police are appealing for information, Delvado Emmanuel reports how questions are swirling about whether he died instead of someone else.
It's a reality no mother ever wants to face, seeing the dead body of the child she once cradled being wheeled away in a hearse. That was the painful scene on Springfield Road this morning just off Prince Charles Drive, where officers discovered the body of a man believed to be in his early 20s, fatally shot and left in a patch of bushes. Police press liaison Chief Superintendent Sheree King says it was an anonymous tip that led them to the crime scene.
Officers responded and discovered an adult male, apparently or approximately in his early 20s, with apparent gunshot wounds to the upper body, or apparent injuries to the upper body.
Now the body of the 23-year-old was found some distance from the main road. Family members on scene shared their raw reaction.
My friend messaged me this morning. I was like, she got the news that somebody yucked him last night, maybe when he's coming home or anyway coming home. And I was like, what you mean? So I get up and I called my old lady.
That's when Michelle Gideon says she knew something was wrong, that her son could be in danger.
That's when my daughter called me, tell me my son ain't come home from last night. You know what I mean? My chest started to hurt. I had this pain I never had before. And I know in myself, I want to see my son no more.
She described him as a quiet, respectful young man who worked as a security officer and always looked out for his family. However, she says this isn't the first time her son has been targeted.
A couple of months back.
They attacked his son? What happened?
Yes. He said he was walking to the shop one day and they pull up on him and they beat him dead bad. But somebody, a bystander, end up seeing him. I came to the station and reported.
But the mother didn't stop there. She believes her son, who was recently released from prison, was the intended target.
Son just come out. Yes. And they said my son was locked up. And while they was going, if they can't get my son, they could get the next one.
At this stage, the time of death and whether the body was transported remained unknown. However, investigations are underway and residents in the area are being questioned. Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
All right, thanks, Delvado. We've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson, he's standing by in the Weather Center. Happy Hump Day, Greg.
Yeah, happy Hump Day. Beautiful conditions around the islands today, too. We saw a lot more sunshine.
Well, I don't know. I sat in my car sweating for quite a bit. Listen, that was registering what? Feels like of 96?
What? Yeah,
listen, yeah.
We are going to start seeing those kinds of temperatures. Maybe even have to issue some severe heat warnings, but we'll watch that as it goes. But a high pressure system is building across our area. We are on the western periphery of that, and it's keeping us on a breezy stream. 86 degrees is our current temperature outside. East-southeast winds 13 miles per hour. Feels like temperature a very warm 89 degrees. Temperatures around the islands right now: 86 in Freeport, 81 Marsh Harbor, Abaco. Cool spot there. 85 in Allenstown, Bimini, Great Harbor Key. Over in Governor's Harbor, 84, 84. Also in Nicholstown, Andros, Central Bahamas, 85s, Kemps Bay, Black Point, Exuma. Actually everywhere else except Edmonds Key. You are 84 at this hour. And in the Southeast Bahamas, 85. Once again in Duncantown, Ragged Island, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay, 86, 84 in Abrahams Bay, and a pair of 87s, Matthewtown, Inagua, and in Providenciales, Turks, and Caicos Islands. Satellite radar composite, we still have some leftover moisture courtesy of that low pressure system the National Hurricane Center is still continuing to monitor, has a low to medium chance for some formation. If it stays in the Gulf, it should form possibly into a tropical depression overnight through tomorrow, but we still have trailing moisture, most of the activity west of Florida, and once that gets out of here by tomorrow, we expect high pressure build in, breezy conditions over the next couple of days, so be careful out there if you plan on doing any beaching or boating during that time frame. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, VJ Edgecombe returns to the Summer League court in Las Vegas, an exciting finish to the MLB All-Star Game that went extra innings, and an update from our youngest pro baseball prospects in the DSL.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications, so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
My name is Trey Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dump.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Marknut. Let's do show. VJ Edgecombe continues to turn heads in the NBA 2K25 Summer League with a strong performance last night in Las Vegas. Edgecombe finished with 15 points, 6 boards, and 4 assists to lead the Philadelphia 76ers to a 74-58 win over the Washington Wizards. It was his first Summer League game in Las Vegas and his first since his debut in Salt Lake City when he announced his arrival as a pro. In that opening game against the Utah Jazz, he exploded for 28 points, 10 boards, 4 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal in just 30 minutes.
Jazz Chisholm Jr. made his second MLB All-Star Game appearance, and it turned out to be a historic finish for the Midsummer Classic. Chisholm's American League rallied from a 6-run deficit to force the first ever All-Star Game swing-off, which the National League ultimately won. In the 6th inning, Chisholm lined out to center in his first at-bat. He returned in the 7th inning and led off with a chopper to first and reached safely after a fielding error. In his third at-bat in the 9th, Chisholm lined a rocket down the right field line for an out, but it moved a run into third and set the stage for the game-tying RBI.
Athletics prospect Aiden Johnson is finding his rhythm in his first season of pro baseball in the Dominican Summer League. The 17-year-old infielder has had a strong presence both offensively and defensively in the season thus far. After a slow start at the plate, Johnson has hit his stride recently with hits in 4 of his last 5 games, including 3 multi-hit games. Yesterday, he finished 2 for 5 with a double, 3 RBI, and a stolen base in his team's 8-7 loss to the DSL Brewers. That'll do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as U.S. President Donald Trump standing by Attorney General Pam Bondi after her remarks on the controversial Epstein case spark outrage. This as the U.S. deports convicted criminals to Eswatini under a controversial program. Plus, a Cuban minister under fire claiming the country has no beggars, just people disguised to drink. More on the outrage when Our News returns.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the life.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me at Talia Hall every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories of Freeport. Stay with the team you already trust.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. U.S. President Donald Trump defending Attorney General Pam Bondi as backlash grows over her department's stance on Jeffrey Epstein. Bondi recently said no client list was found, appearing to contradict earlier statements. Still, some of Trump's allies, including House Speaker Mike Johnson and Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, are demanding full transparency on Epstein's network and alleged accomplices.
What do you think that is? Why they would be so interested. He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is. I really don't. And the credible information's been given. Don't forget, we went through years of the Mueller witch hunt and all of the different things, the Steele dossier, which was all fake. All that information was fake. But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. I think, well, really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going. But credible information, let them give it. Anything that's credible, I would say, let them have it.
Meanwhile, the United States has deported 5 convicted criminals, none of whom are African nationals, to the southern African nation of Eswatini as part of a controversial third country deportation program now expanding under the Trump administration. Homeland Security officials say the men, who are from countries including Vietnam, Jamaica, Cuba, and Yemen, were rejected by their home nations due to the severity of their crimes, prompting the U.S. to send them to Eswatini. The move sparking human rights concerns and diplomatic questions about the secretive deal. And a Cuban minister is under fire after claiming there are no beggars in Cuba, only people pretending to be, sparking outrage in a country that's grappling with deepening poverty. Labor Minister Marta Elena Fitu said those seen begging or cleaning windshields are disguised and just trying to drink, prompting calls for her resignation. Even President Miguel Diaz-Canel criticized the remarks, saying the revolution must never turn its back on the vulnerable. Cuba's economy shrank again this year, compounding years of decline. Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was July 16th. Then in our news at 7:30, we want Bahamians to own the majority of the pie. The Prime Minister makes the case for sweeping land reform, calling it a fight for fairness and a future where ownership isn't just for the rich or well-connected. The opposition says the proposed changes fall flat. And Minna says, I will win. The former Prime Minister still eyeing Killarney despite pushback from his F&M party, insisting he'll contest the seat with or without its blessing. Hear what he told reporters outside Parliament today when our news returns.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
My name is Troy Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and
On this day in Bahamian history in 1904, Clarence A. Bain was born in Love Hill, Andros. He became a politician, member of parliament, cabinet minister, and civil rights activist. Educated at Calabash Bay Public School, the Historical Society notes he later moved to the United States, where he witnessed racial segregation and the civil rights movement. Returning to the Bahamas in 1954, Bain joined the civil rights struggle. In 1956, he won the Andros and Berry Islands constituency seat as a Progressive Liberal Party member, serving until 1971. He coined the famous quote, "If you can't fish, cut bait. If you can't cut bait, get the hell out of the boat." Bain passed away on July 14, 1971 at age 66. The Clarence A. Bain Building on University Drive, New Providence, and the Clarence A. Bain Airport in Mangrove Key, Andros, are named in his honor. And in 2020, the Ministry of Health confirmed 5 new COVID-19 cases, 3 on Grand Bahama and 2 on New Providence. These new cases brought the total to 124, with 89 in New Providence and 21 on Grand Bahama. Only 3 people were hospitalized at the time. Alive and Alive Fiber have been named the fastest and best in the region, winning 5 Ookla Speed Test Awards for both mobile and fixed network performance. Ookla, which is the global leader in internet speed testing, handed out awards for fastest mobile network, best mobile gaming experience, best fixed gaming experience, and fastest fixed network in the Caribbean. Cable Bahamas Group CEO Franklin Butler announced the wins during a press conference on the sidelines of the 40th Caribbean Association of National Telecommunications Organizations.
Our goal has never been just to offer service, but to lead enabling connected lifestyles and experiences across the Bahamas. We are glad to have partners like Unecto, who provide devices that demonstrate the ability of our network. Not only do we want to ensure that our network is high performing, but we want to make it accessible to all Bahamians. Thank you, all of our Cable Bahamas family. Thank you, the Bahamian people who've entrusted us as customers of Alive Fiber, and to our partners and teams who make everything possible every day.
Ookla's Director of Sales for the USA and Caribbean, Mark Pinesso, explains how the awards are determined.
Ookla Speed Test Awards are made twice per year, for those that don't know, and are given to the provider with superior performance as determined by our fully independent and unbiased speed test results. An Ookla Speed Test Award win represents the summation of hard work by all teams across the provider organization. And I do want to give a special shout out to most of the folks in this room that I know personally on the engineering the marketing, sales, product, and of course management teams at Cable Bahamas Group, at Alive, and Alive Fiber for your determination, your ingenuity, your dedication for promoting the best-in-class service to your mobile and fixed clients in the Bahamas.
All right, hats off to Alive and Alive Fiber. If you want to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, visit ournews.bs. That's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now are Megan Shepard. She's in Fort Talia Hall with the latest headlines. Megan, welcome back. It's good to have you back.
Thank you.
Good to have you back at the desk. But wait, how was Jamaica?
First time there, the mountains, the views, so beautiful, so relaxing. The work part was good too.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I was living vicariously through you and Steve. Hoping to be in that space, but hey.
So good.
Yeah.
All right, and coming up at 7:30, the Prime Minister makes the case for sweeping land reform. Plus, the former Prime Minister still eyeing Killarney. Here are your latest headlines.
Coming up tonight, a body discovered in bushes off Prince Charles Drive, a mother's worst nightmare. Tonight, police are investigating the circumstances while a family mourns. Plus, the death of an officer in a traffic accident on Tuesday, shaking the RBPF's Eleuthera division. And then, you shouldn't have to be rich or well-connected to own a piece of the pie in the Bahamas. That's according to the nation's Prime Minister. We've got more from land reform debate in Parliament. And later, the Department of Labor taking their efforts to fill nearly 300 positions for teachers across the country to the community. We've got the details for these stories and more when our News Live at 7:30 continues.
Candino Nodes here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure and hit that follow button if you want to see more stories like this. Be sure and follow all of the R News social media pages. And hey, don't forget, turn on your notifications so you never miss out on top stories from the team you already trust.
I'm very excited, and I can't believe it. It's it's a dream come true. When she did call me yesterday about it, I didn't know what to believe. Thanks to Mr. Coleman and this whole staff for what they do, and making sure the customers are taken care of, making sure we enjoy the gaming they do give to us. Chances is a great house to play, even down to the staff, is perfect. You're going to marvel.
Welcome to our news and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. A mother's worst nightmare became reality Tuesday morning after her 23-year-old son was found shot to death and left in bushes off Springfield Road. Tonight, his family is heartbroken and police are appealing for help as there are questions about whether he was the intended target. Our Delvardo Emmanuel gets us started.
It's a reality no mother ever wants to face, seeing the dead body of the child she once cradled being wheeled away in a hearse. That was the painful scene on Springfield Road this morning just off Prince Charles Drive, where officers discovered the body of a man believed to be in his early 20s, fatally shot and left in a patch of bushes. Police press liaison Chief Superintendent Sheree King says it was an anonymous tip that led them to the crime scene.
Officers responded and discovered an adult male, apparently or approximately in his early 20s, with apparent gunshot wounds to the upper body, or apparent injuries to the upper body.
Now the body of the 23-year-old was found some distance from the main road. Family members on scene shared their raw reaction.
My friend messaged me this morning. I was like, she got the news that somebody yucked him last night, maybe when he's coming home or anyway coming home. And I was like, what you mean? So I get up and I called my old lady.
That's when Michelle Gideon says she knew something was wrong, that her son could be in danger.
That's when my daughter called me, tell me my son ain't come home from last night. You know what I mean? My chest started to hurt. I had this pain I never had before. And I know in myself, I want to see my son no more.
She described him as a quiet, respectful young man who worked as a security officer and always looked out for his family. However, she says this isn't the first time her son has been targeted.
A couple months back.
They attacked his son? What happened?
Yes. He said he was walking to the shop one day and they pull up on him and they beat him dead bad. But somebody, a bystander, end up seeing him and came to station and reported.
But the mother didn't stop there. She believes her son, who was recently released from prison, was the intended target.
Son just come out. Yes. And they said my son was locked up. And while they was going, if they can't get my son, they could get the next one.
At this stage, the time of death and whether the body was transported remained unknown. However, investigations are underway and residents in the area are being questioned. Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Thanks so much, Delvardo. Well, one man is now dead after that mass shooting in Mason Addition last week. Police confirming that the 54-year-old died in hospital, but did not say exactly when. You may recall that back on July 7th, reports indicated that shortly after 9 p.m., a white and gray-colored Kia Jeep pulled up to a home on Whitfield Road. A gunman rolled down the window and shot several men. The 54, 29, 24, and 19-year-old victims were transported to hospital. Our News tried to get an update on the other 3 men, but attempts were unsuccessful. Meantime, a man accused of carrying out a murder plot that was masterminded by a government official, has decided to stay in jail for the time being. Dante Riley abandoned his appeal against a judge's decision to refuse him bail. Riley is accused of the August 2024 murder of Philip Adderley, who was found hog-tied in waters near South Ocean with multiple stab wounds about the body. Former government official Mario Bannister is accused of conspiring with the alleged killers and acting as an accessory after the fact. An officer is dead following a tragic crash in North Eleuthera on Tuesday afternoon. Police say around 1:30 p.m. they were alerted to a traffic accident in the Lower Boca community. When officers arrived, they discovered an overturned compact car with an unresponsive and injured driver inside. EMS pronounced him dead at the scene. These images obtained by Our News show the extent of the damage. The crushed car was nearly unrecognizable as it rested just a few feet away from a damaged utility pole. The victim has since been identified as Sergeant 3044 Michael Lockhart. Superintendent Franklin Neely says the officer's death has shaken the RBPF's Eleuthera division.
No one want to hear that shocking news that their loved one has passed. The situation today was tragic. However, the officers on the island of Eleuthera, we continue to remain steadfast. We had a local pastor came in today, assist us with prayers, offer his condolences and express sympathy for the island of Eleuthera. As a matter of fact, he would have prayed for the entire Royal Farmers Police Force because the entire organization is touched by the loss of this officer.
Well, Prime Minister Philip Davis leading debate on 2 pieces of land reform legislation, which he says will expand opportunities for more Bahamians to be landowners. The Registered Land Bill 2025 and the Land Adjudication Bill 2025 will, among other things, fix what's broken with the land registration process and modernize how land rights are recorded. Davis called it alarming to think that the current system failed to adequately protect the inheritance of Bahamians, adding that the system is rifled with loopholes.
We want Bahamians to own a majority of the pie in the Bahamas. This is the land of our birth, and we should all feel empowered to be owners in this country. And we shouldn't have to be rich or well-connected for ownership to be a reality. This is the future we have been fighting for from day one. Land reform must be a part of this fight. Our people deserve nothing less than a system that supports their dreams.
Meanwhile, leader of opposition business Adrian White says the bills do not represent great reform in the property title industry, adding that it's not going to have a great impact for Bahamians.
This is not something that's going to make things less expensive. You actually are going to have to come up with your life savings, likely, Madam Speaker, to hire an attorney to defend you in a matter of adjudication. Because if you don't come up with your, have they said the government is going to pay? Have they said the government is going to pay for property owners to have attorneys? No.
Current Member of Parliament and former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis is still confident that he'll hold on to the Killarney seat in the next general election. Dr. Minnis once led the Free National Movement but was ousted from the leadership post after a crushing defeat at the polls in September 2021. But the party has said he would not receive the nomination to represent the party in the upcoming general election. But it's not stopping Minnis from insisting he will run, though he has not said if he will do so under the FNM banner or as an independent candidate. Speaking to reporters outside Parliament today, Minnis says despite he and other aspiring candidates being dealt a possible wild card, he's still confident.
However they split it, I will win. Let's leave it as that. Capital I, will, capital W-I-L-L, win. W-I-N. Yeah, I was told that Killarney is going to be split, and I think it's a viable option. Killarney has a large voting bloc, and yes, I think splitting Killarney in two is a viable option.
And that's not the only politics the former PM discussed. He was also asked about Island Luck CEO Sebastien Bastien being a possible candidate in the next general election. In recent weeks, speculation swirled about Bastien eyeing a bid for the Progressive Liberal Party's Fort Charlotte seat. Bastien said he has not made a decision on the matter. Minnis called him a respectable individual who should not be denied opportunities.
Respectable individual. Why should he be denied any denied things that other Bahamians are not denied? Is he not equal to me? Is he not equal to you? The answer is yes. He's richer than me. He's richer than you. I'm happy for him.
Well, we've still got lots more news to share with you tonight, but first, meteorologist Greg Thompson joins us for your first look at temperatures. Greg, happy Wednesday, happy hump day.
Yeah, thanks, Megan. A happy hump day, everybody. Much improved conditions around the islands today. Temperatures managed to get up into the upper 80s to near the 90-degree mark. Right now, we're settling into the mid-80s, 86 degrees with partly cloudy skies. A couple of clouds out there. East-southeast winds have a little bit of a breeze. It's at 13 miles per hour, and it feels like temperature is at 89. As I mentioned, much improved conditions. We still have some lingering moisture across the area. That area of low pressure that we were watching across Florida is now approaching Louisiana, but some trailing moisture still hanging out behind that, generating a few showers across the northwest Bahamas. We expect most of this to be moving off. High pressure is going to be building in across our area for the next couple of days. So breezy conditions, boating and beaching will become a challenge. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, a doctor's hospital setting and maintaining the standard in the Caribbean. The healthcare facility earning a prestigious award for the 6th year in a row. Plus, connecting residents throughout the Flamingo Gardens community, the Department of Social Services looking to make an impact over the weekend. We'll tell you how when our news returns.
INTI Corporation is on the move, day by day, panel by panel. Our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, INTI redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucayas solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. INTI is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape. Witness the future of sustainable energy unfolding on the island of Grand Bahama as INTI Corporation shines brighter than ever. INTI Corporation, powering your world, powering your future.
Somewhere's was a party going on, yeah. Somewhere's was a one-stop shopping sale. In the family, community, who needs Southwest Plaza. Come shop with us. Shop, shop, we've got so many stores. Shop, shop, prices
In the Bahamas, island time is real.
Local education officials say they're facing a deficit of more than 300 educators, and this shortage of teachers is a global issue. Here at home, the Ministry of Education teamed up with the Labor Department to do something about it. Danielle Miller tells us more.
It's being called a classroom crisis. Countries around the world are facing teacher shortages. UNESCO reporting that the issue is now leading to larger classroom sizes, overburdened educators, educational disparities, and financial strain on educational systems. And the Bahamas is also feeling the impact. The Ministry of Education is stepping outside the box to get more teachers on the payroll. They recently partnered with the Department of Labor for a job fair that was attended by dozens of potential prospects to teach classes across the country. Cornell Clark Jr. holds a degree in business management and administration. He says he also has teaching experience and plans to turn that into a career in education.
I want to help people, not just for the short term, but for the long term, in education, broadening their minds. I'm teaching them, enhancing their knowledge, understanding, and wisdom.
Jasmine Roll holds a bachelor's degree in social work and did not apply to be a teacher. However, she wants to enter the education industry as a trainee guidance counselor.
And I enjoy working with kids. I like to give back, and I feel that a lot of our upbringings and the way that we go about in life comes from what we learn at a younger age too. So I'd like to get more into dealing with our youth in their school systems as opposed to anywhere else.
Minister of Education Glenys Hannah Martin says this is just one of the plans the ministry has implemented to recruit and retain educators. She says the job fair came from a recently concluded survey.
And coming out of that survey, a number of initiatives have flowed. We still have much more to do, but one of them was we created a portal for teachers to go in and seek funding for professional development, and this year we were able to help a significant number of teachers, many of whom went to a conference, professional development conference.
Reporting for our news, I'm Danielle Miller.
Doctors Hospital has done it again, receiving one of the highest seals of approval in global healthcare. Doctors Hospital joins fewer than 2,000 facilities worldwide with the rare accreditation from Joint Commission International. And it's the only one in the English-speaking Caribbean to do so. Hospital officials say the recognition comes after an intense 4-day inspection. President and CEO Dr. Charles Digges says the achievement was no small feat and is proof of their commitment to world-class care.
They have an autonomy to determine the patients when they arrive, if the patients are willing, if the physicians are available, and the staff who happen to be in place at that time. The questions range from your attitudes or feelings about your employment, your attitudes about quality and safety, and whether you believe, and not worded in a convincing way, but whether you believe the care that you're receiving is of a high standard, a high quality.
Dr. Digges says everything from patient care and operations to staff and safety standards were scrutinized, with patient and staff interviews also used to gauge the quality of care.
The examination of hospitals in the Bahamas requires that we pass a local exam annually. The Joint Commission International examination is extra, and it's not a requirement. It's a part of our commitment to taking our pursuit of excellence to a whole new level, and to make sure that in any discussion or argument about quality, safety, and standards, that we have an international reference for patients.
Do you know what's happening in your community? That was the question the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting sought to provide an answer for as they held a community fun day this past weekend on Flamingo Gardens Park.
Permanent Secretary in the ministry, Phaedra Turnquest, said this is the second event of its kind aimed at connecting residents. The Family Fun Day was also an avenue to tell residents about the various initiatives available through the ministry at their Family Life Center located in the area.
Many persons will say that they're busy about their business every day. They don't have time to get involved anymore. But we made it available for them. The kids get their treats of food, ice cream free of charge. There'll be games, bouncing castles, and we've also provided information booths for parents.
Turnquest said the Fun Day is also part of a broader project between the ministry and religious leaders.
We launched our Stronger Family campaign last year with the Bahamas Christian Council, and so this activity is actually a continuation of such efforts to build a stronger community, because we know that by building a stronger community, by extension, you will have a stronger nation.
Coming up in sports, VJ Edgecombe returns to the Summer League court in Las Vegas, an exciting finish to the MLB All-Star game that went extra innings, and an update from our youngest pro baseball prospects in the DSL.
Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. Morris the Paint Place has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, color is more than just a hue, it's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
Grand Bahama is home to a unique economic arrangement, with that arrangement between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority under scrutiny as tensions persist.
It's not our direct responsibility to carry out these other things that people think we should be doing.
We need this to be dealt with quicker than quicker and sooner than sooner.
I have a vision for Grand Bahama, and my vision is actually bigger than my grandfather's ever was.
Watch City in Focus, the story of Freeport with Italia Hall, starting August 7th, only on RTV.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Keisha, one thing with you ain't never have no money. I just sent Miko inside Wendy's just now because Wendy's having their summer promo. Just hot cash, girl. Yes, hot cash. But anyway, we did this one right now. We trying to win this $10,000. And even if you ain't win the $10,000, you can win $2,500 every week. Even if you don't get no ride, Keisha. Anyway, Keisha, I go on Miko Reach. Fine. All you gotta do is upgrade any combo between 1 to 12 to medium or large. And they get this new spicy chicken club sandwich. But I just sent Miko inside there for from June 24th to August 1st. You ain't getting the Wendy's, that's on you. But don't ask me for no money when I win.
My name is Trevi Williams.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's Sean Mark Nutt. Let's do show. VJ Edgecombe continues to turn heads in the NBA 2K25 Summer League with a strong performance last night in Las Vegas. Edgecombe finished with 15 points, 6 boards, and 4 assists to lead the Philadelphia 76ers to a 74-58 win over the Washington Wizards.
It's good to be back on the floor. Thank God for that. Yeah, like you said, first half, I was trying to get my foot under me, but there ain't no excuse. But you just got to go out there and just play hard. Second half, like you said, slowed down. He's able to make easier reads, get more in the flow. So yeah, it was good. I mean, we won, so that's all that matters.
It was his first Summer League game in Las Vegas and his first since his debut in Salt Lake City when he announced his arrival as a pro. In that opening game against the Utah Jazz, he exploded for 28 points, 10 boards, 4 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal in just 30 minutes. Against the Wizards last night, Edgecombe picked up right where he left off with a complete effort on both ends of the floor.
Me still learning. I learn every day when it comes to being the point guard, lead guard, whatever you want to call it. I learn every day. So I'm just keep my head down, keep working, to be honest. Watch film, do what I have to do to get better.
The 76ers Summer League schedule continues tonight against the Dallas Mavericks.
Jazz Chisholm Jr. made his second MLB All-Star Game appearance, and it turned out to be a historic finish for the Midsummer Classic. Chisholm's American League rallied from a 6-run deficit to force the first ever All-Star Game swing-off, which the National League ultimately won. In the 6th inning, Chisholm lined out to center in his first at-bat. He returned in the 7th inning and led off with a chopper to first and reached safely after a fielding error. In his third at-bat in the ninth, Chisholm lined a rocket down the right field line for an out, but it moved a run into third and set the stage for the game-tying RBI. Now that the festivities are done, the Yankees return to regular season action on Friday with a 3-game road series against the Atlanta Braves.
Athletics prospect Aiden Johnson is finding his rhythm in his first season of pro baseball in the Dominican Summer League. The 17-year-old infielder has had a strong presence both offensively and defensively in the season thus far. After a slow start at the plate, Johnson has hit his stride recently with hits in 4 of his last 5 games, including 3 multi-hit games. Yesterday, he finished 2 for 5 with a double, 3 RBI, and a stolen base in his team's 8-7 loss to the DSL Brewers. In July so far, he's hitting .379 with 5 RBI and 5 stolen bases. Johnson signed with the Athletics as the 11th ranked international prospect in the class of 2025. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. I feel like Jazz had the moment. The redemption arc was right there. It was there in the ninth, came up just short.
Well, they played the Braves on Friday, so I feel like he's just warming up for that series.
Like we said, hit some when it counts. Back to the studio.
When our news returns, Greg is back in the Weather Center with a complete look at temperatures across the country. Stick with us.
My name is Troy Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
Joshua Williams here. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button and to follow all of our social media pages. Also, don't forget...
This is our news. Welcome back. Much improved conditions across the island chain as we saw a lot more sunshine, still some moisture hanging out across our area courtesy of that low pressure system that's now moved into the Gulf of Mexico. The National Hurricane Center is still giving that up to medium chance for formation, but it's actually moving west and away from us. We will continue with some of this moisture through tonight and into tomorrow, but behind that high pressure is going to be building in. That's going to continue to provide some breezy conditions across the chain of island, and of course much improved conditions expected for the balance of the week. Closer look at that blob, that low pressure system, a lot of showers and thunderstorms, more disorganized this afternoon, but we could see this becoming a tropical depression by tonight or tomorrow before it actually falls apart into Louisiana. The remainder of the tropics quiet, a couple of tropical waves moving across the tropical belt out there in the Atlantic, Caribbean quiet, and with the exception of that low pressure system in the Gulf of Mexico, all is quiet there. Future forecast showing the moisture trailing behind, most of it staying into the Gulf of Mexico, but a couple of small showers still popping up across the northwest Bahamas through Thursday, and much the same through Friday, but improving throughout into the weekend with some breezy conditions expected. Boating, a challenge for the northwest and central Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. Small craft caution in effect. East to southeast winds 15 to 20 knots. They will be gusting higher times. This is actually seas running 4 to 7 feet. High tide is at 12:57 in the morning, low tide at 7:20 in the morning as well. Southeast Bahamas, an advisory down there. Stronger winds, east to southeast, 15 to 25 knots. Seas very rough, 5 to 8 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, improving conditions throughout the remainder of the week. Little disturbance moving to our area in the upper levels. Another upper level low could trigger a few showers for the weekend into early next week, but those temperatures will stay toasty near the 90-degree mark. Nighttime temperatures very warm, 70 to 80 degrees. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
Thanks so much, Greg, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a safe and wonderful evening. Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button if you'd like to see more content like this. Follow all of the Our News social media pages so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.